I didn't have a database. I didn't really have any touch points. I didn't use any CRM or anything to track my leads. And the Meskula thing kind of came in front of me. And first of all, I was very curious and intrigued. So I had the meeting with Chris. He explained the system to me. And I decided to give it a try. So one property active and sold. The other property I'm taking photos tomorrow, and then it'll be active on Monday.
All righty, Keith, how you doing?
Hey, I'm great, Emmanuel. Good to see you.
Good to see you as well. Well, thank you so much for taking the time to join us today. I have a few questions for you about your time here at Meskula. So we have been together for over 3 months now. I think we are actually closer to 4 months. But at our time here at Meskula, your time with us here at Meskula, I have a few questions for you in terms of, well, let's start from the beginning. What was going on at work? What was going on in your life before joining Meskula? What led you to looking for something like Meskula?
Yeah, absolutely. So I'm located in Nova Scotia, Canada, and last year, mid-year, Bank of Canada put interest rates up. Market really took a dive, or went pretty quiet from September onward. I co-own a brokerage. I'm lucky to be generally very busy, but at that point, when I started investigating, I was not busy, and I was worried. I was concerned of, okay, where are things going to come from? Where is the business going to come from? Absolutely. So I'm in Nova Scotia, Canada. And last year in 2023, things were on fire. They were going really well. And then the Bank of Canada increased rates. Once the rate hike kind of hit the market, things pretty much stopped. Buyers were hoping prices would come down. Sellers were holding their prices firm, and nothing was happening. So generally, as a busy realtor, it got pretty scary when I was 4 months into not much happening. So I quickly realized that I did not really build an annuity, even though I'd been doing real estate for 12 years. I didn't have a database. I didn't really have any touch points. I didn't use any CRM or anything to track my leads. And the Meskula thing kind of came in front of me. And first of all, I was very curious and intrigued. So I had the meeting with Chris. He explained the system to me, explained the costs. Once I kind of did the calculations of the risk versus the reward, and the money we can certainly make in real estate is pretty quick, then I decided to give it a try.
Okay, there you go. So look, I'm very happy that you laid it out this way, because I'm sure that many people going through what you went through, right, a similar process, they have to put on a scale, right? They really have to weigh out the pros, the cons. Is this something I would actually dive into? So you've been with us now for, let's just say, over 4 months, right? And in this time that we've been together, you've had 2 listings. Are these currently active? Are these currently sold?
Yeah, so one property active and sold. The other property I'm taking photos tomorrow, and then it'll be active on Monday. It's a duplex.
Okay, perfect. Duplex. Now, in these months that we have been together, what has your experience been? What was it like when you first started? Were the leads overwhelming? Were the conversations overwhelming? Did people not pick up the phone? What was going on?
So in the beginning, I was doing absolutely nothing anyways. So it was a great time to get inundated with not only learning the system, which actually is quite easy, but also contacting, reaching out with people and making sure that, I was on top of things. It was great because it was exciting, because I was finally busy again. I was having meaningful conversations. Meskula offered a lot of different training if I needed it. I attended a lot of the sessions with the various people that you guys have available and picked up some really good points. So starting out, it was great. Of course, it took me a little while to not take things personally, much like we had to grow a thick skin in real estate. We had to grow a thick skin in here and feel like it's okay to let go of leads that don't work out. That was the hardest thing starting out, because you want all of the money, you want all of the business, you want all of the leads, you want everybody's house. And even that person picks up the phone and slams it down on you, you still want to call them back and get them. That was the hardest part starting out, was waiting and trying to make something happen. Then when I started having very meaningful conversations, it quickly escalated to the point where, okay, I don't have anything right now starting tomorrow, but all of these people are talking about, in the spring, in the fall, as time passes, it's, we're going to be listing. So I started realizing that the annuity was being built. And even though it's not happening today, it's going to happen later. And that's kind of what's starting to happen right now. All of the plants that I've put seed in the ground a couple months ago are starting now to bloom and grow, and I'm starting to get callbacks about people who are ready for September or what have you. So I'm at a point now where it's getting kind of exciting.
Good. And again, I'm just going to go back to what you said originally with this specific thing that you shared. There was a little bit of doubt, and I know that you and I had some conversations. You had a partner at one point, and hey, when you dive into a system, he said it best, right? You really gotta grow thick skin in real estate with online leads, whether it's real estate or not, right? Talking to people. Whenever we're a salesperson, talking to people can be tough, right? We tend to be the last people want to actually talk to. So in this whole process, full of doubts, full of moments that I'm sure, people don't really make it easy. They don't like making it easy for anybody. But is there anything you would have told yourself or anybody who might be in similar shoes as you were a few months ago. What would you say to these people that need to grow some thick skin when it comes to having conversations with online leads?
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, the biggest thing was move on quickly. Don't dwell on the past. You know, the leads will come. One of the best things that I did is once I was had a big database of leads and they weren't coming to fruition, we started working with Daniel, and Daniel started doing the follow-up, because when April hit, I started actually getting busy from my own business, which was great because that was making me happy and I had to concentrate on paying my bills. Daniel was doing the busy work, and then I was set up to basically execute and grab those leads that he's gotten rid of the garbage, and he had the people who are, actually serious about, I wanted to have a conversation, and I was able to concentrate on those people and make sure I make the most out of them, which kind of gave me a breath of life, because I didn't have the time when I was starting to get busy for the rejection. It was hard not to dwell on the negatives. And when Daniel's selling me, like he's alley-ooping me and all I got to do is dunk it in the net, that makes it feel like you're winning more, right? So that was probably the best thing I did. I probably should have done it a little bit early. I waited until I was feeling a little bit overwhelmed. And I feel like I kind of got behind in maintaining the database and following up with leads. Now with Daniel on board, I don't feel that added pressure. And I know when something comes to me from Daniel, I'm ready to win.
Beautiful. Well, I like that. And, you're well aware of this, right? Different realtors grow their business in different ways. Some people hire an ISA first, some people do an admin assistant. I think an ISA is always a great addition. Works differently for different people, right? I definitely think that you have willing to let on a little bit of work, teamwork at the end of the day. Right?
Exactly.
So coming closer to an end with all these questions I have for you, let me just ask you this. What are some of the things that you've liked about Meskula, and what are some of the things that you haven't liked? What's the good, the bad, the ugly? What can we improve?
Well, obviously, I like the money that it's generating. I like that I have hundreds of leads of varying quality. It doesn't matter if it was the guy who hung up on me. If I can drop in an email once a year, who knows, he might call me in 4 years. That's huge, because that's something I didn't have before. And it's actually lit a fire under my butt to take the people that I've had for the last 12 years and add them to my own database to try to kind of create that. I mean, starting out, Ashley, as an AI, I think she needed some work. You guys have been improving her over time. Her responses have gotten better. I think we could even more fine tune them to Canadians versus Americans, or even Atlantic Canadians, because some of the responses she gives, I'm like, yeah, turn her off. I need to respond. But, these are just growing pains and we're learning. And it's not that she's, eliminated any of the leads that came in. It's just a couple of people would question, like, where are you out of? Right? Because she may just react or respond differently than the average Atlantic Canadian might. But other than that, it's been a very positive experience. And I think it has opportunities and support no matter what level you are. If you're somebody who's trying to grow a team, it's there. If you're somebody who's brand new, there's a multitude of learning and online training that you could do. And then there's a support network for it. I'm lucky to have had a slow time, that I'm generally relatively busy. So I was a bit of a hybrid. And as I grow as a co-owner of a brokerage, I think I'll be getting more of my realtors involved to help them not only learn the sales process, but for them to build their own database to set them up for future success. Because these guys who aren't calling me right now, I might be working with them in the fall, might be working with them next spring. It doesn't really matter when they come around. It's just the fact that eventually I'll get paid for these.
That's 100% right. And, I'm fortunate enough to have conversations with tons of people all across Canada, all across the States. And when I'm working with people who tend to be newer in the industry, there's always this sense of it's been 30 days and I haven't closed anything, right? Well, are you having conversations? Are you meeting with anybody? Are you actually nurturing? And we forget about this whole process. So, Keith, I really appreciate all these all these answers, all this insight that you're actually sharing. Two things just before we hop off. You have one listing that is currently active and the other one is going live in the next couple of days. The one that is currently active, how much is that one listed for?
The one that's going to be listed on Monday. Sorry, the one that I sold, we listed it at $499 and sold it for $502. And then the one that's listing, we're going out at $699. It's a duplex right in the middle of Halifax. And we'll see how that goes. The seller wanted to go a little bit higher than I wanted to, but the market is so hot and so active for investment properties in Halifax that it'll sell no matter what. So I'm excited for that.
Okay, beautiful. All righty. Well, Keith, I really appreciate your time today. And thank you so much for everything you shared with us.
My pleasure. Thanks, Emmanuel.